Hey, what is going on today, guys? What is going on today, guys? Let me adjust y'all real quick. There we go. But today, we got this Mad Gear skateboard, and this is a board that I purchased as part of the Money Pit series. And yeah, so this would be a great time to break in my fancy new skate tool that is somehow already broken. Don't know if that little plastic piece means anything, but yeah, anyway. So yeah, this is the $15 skateboard. So this is kind of like that mid between the $5 and like $30, and then eventually we'll work up to a $60, and then anything really past 120 is going to be a good board. But yeah, so we're just gonna kind of double in price. In the last video, we went over a Five Below skateboard. It was this little guy. If you really want to see me upgrade and try to skate it, I can most certainly do that. But I think the only thing you're really gonna get to upgrade on that board is, well, maybe wheels if you can find ones that fit. But the main thing I think you can only upgrade on that Five Below board is really bearings, and that's it. But yeah, other than that, you're not going to really be getting too much out of it. And that brings us to this board, which $15 or $15 to $20 range. And yeah, so this one's a little more upgradable, but you'll still be out the entire cost of the board. I'm just going to take this thing apart and yeah, put together this truck a little bit later. But yeah, we'll worry about that here in a minute. There we go. But yeah, so a lot of these super cheap boards, like, you know, the Five Below board, or even this one, like the $15 one, is slightly, I want to say, more justifiable to upgrade. But they always put this skate stopper on it, probably so you don't skate it in the store. But yeah, figure out how to get this stupid thing off. But yeah, so this one is slightly more, I want to say, justifiable to upgrade, just because it is a more full-size skateboard. But yeah, but once you spend like the price for new trucks, the price for bearings, wheels, maybe hardware if you're into upgrading the hardware, which the hardware really isn't that big of a deal, as long as it's holding together the board, that's all that matters. So hardware is debatably one of the few things you really just don't need to upgrade. But yeah, but by the time you really upgrade that and you only spent $15 or so on the board, and all that costs over well, bearings themselves, like for standard issue bearings, cost about $20. So that's kind of where you do kind of have to think about, like, okay, is this board really feasibly, is this really even worth upgrading? And that's where you kind of have to draw a line. And like, yes, these videos are fun to do, and yes, these videos get views, but it's kind of fun to like break them more than anything. But yeah, and that's kind of why I like to do them, is because I can abuse the crap out of these boards and not feel super guilty about it. I mean, $15 is $15, but it's still better than like $100 some board that you would have beaten up. And a lot of those boards can hand up to more abuse than these ones can, but yeah, I mean, it's still more fun to like not beat up your main board. It's like having two different cars where it's like, oh, I spent $500 on one and kind of upgrade it and make it kind of fun and fast. And yeah, and that's kind of what I like to do with these boards, is make them fun, fast, a little more reliable. And by no means is, and you shouldn't feel bad if these are like, this is like your first board. But yeah, I mean, because it's still upgradable, it's just not the most cost-effective thing in the world. Where did that go? Found it. I'll go get my... And when I say cost-effective, it's how much money am I putting into this board versus what value I'm getting out of it, because you can easily put as much money as you want into this board, but it's just, at what point did you spend more on this board than it's actually worth? Because, and to kind of go back to our car example, if you like, let's say, buy a $500 car and you put, let's say, $2,000 worth of parts and work into it, is it really worth it at that point to have that particular car? And who knows, if you're that kind of person that does most of, if not all the work yourself, then that might be a little more justifiable if you do most of, if not all the work yourself, kind of like I do. And it's would be different if you paid someone to do it, where it's like, okay, like, what is going into labor versus what's going actually going to making this car run. It would be like a $500 Yugo versus like a $3,000 Honda. But anyway, I digress. But yeah, no, this is definitely a fun thing to do if you have the know-how and the equipment to do it, and no regard for a budget. But yeah, I'll be back once I get all the plastic and stuff off and everything put together. But yeah, cue a time lapse.
You said never let me go. 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 You said never let me go.
yeah, got all the plastic off the board and everything. But yeah, so pretty much $15, not much in the way of cost effectiveness. But yeah, so pretty much got everything, like all this stuff off. And so yeah, this was a 31-inch by 7.5-inch, so it is relatively skinny. 9-ply maple concave, 50mm by 30mm PVC injected wheels. The trucks are a 5-inch HD composite, and then the bearings are A-Bag 5 carbon steel. So a lot of that's going to need to be upgraded, and in the next video, that is going to be what we're doing, upgrading that, or at least in the next video on this series. But yeah, other than that, like, comment, follow, and subscribe, and see you guys next video.